Hi, I'm Jay Alpinist. The plugin we're looking at today is the Knif Soma. It's a sought-after mastering EQ, rather expensive, hard to find, at least in North America. It's extremely linear. There is a separation a little bit between left and right channels if you take a look at Plugin Doctor. In fact, let's stop this for a second and let's take a look at Plugin Doctor. So here's Plugin Doctor right here, and I'll turn off this band so you can see exactly what we're looking at. You have a 72 dB or so dip right above 20K and a slight dip around 7 dB, and then just the tiniest hint of a dip around 100 and so. I've got something dialed in here. You can hear that the changes are pretty gradual, as they should be in mastering, although you do have the option of pretty steep cues, so you could get pretty surgical with this EQ. There are the TMT options here, although as you can hear, it's because the EQ is so linear, I don't think this really even makes a difference, honestly. It's just a cool feature, I guess. You have a headroom control, in and output control, mono maker, stereo width. These are kind of standard Plugin Alliance features. You have MS, which is cool, and Link. And what I really love is these auto listen options. Oh, I turned it off. So you can really dial in if I'm looking for that 400, 300 to 500 mud, I can find that. If I want to find something really sibilant in the 2K range, I can sweep right into there. And I find it extremely useful in Plugin Alliance plugins, just to be able to just dial in and find exactly what you're looking for. It's a nice feature. I was interested in this plugin well, for a while, actually, like when they really said that they were going to release this, it feels like 2 years ago. This was a plugin that was really on my radar for sure. But my question, as soon as I looked at it and I saw how linear it was, is could I null it? And I could get reasonably close. I dialed in something here just to check. Usually when I'm nulling, the easiest thing is just to pick a single point, just to see what we kind of got going on here. So I chose 1.5 at about 1.5. And here I have Fab Filter, and I dialed it in as close-ish as I could, and this is about as close as I could get. Although, granted, it's extremely close. The difference that you're hearing, if you don't know what nulling is, essentially if I take two signals and they're identical, if I invert the phase of one, the information or the sound that you hear that is the difference is the only audible difference between the two signals. So if I can null something out, there's essentially, there is no difference between that plugin information that it's spitting back. So you can hear it's quite close. You could, you could dial in something with Fab Filter or Equilibrium that would be really close. And even more interesting to me is if I take it off here, you can hear it. This is Ableton's stock EQ. So you can see that I've dialed that in. And I've gotten pretty close, but not as close as if I want to do that with with FabFilter Pro, and you can see that there's no audible signal because it's identical. So, interesting. I find when I'm doing these tests for myself, I striped these all across. I could null out FabFilter versus Equilibrium versus Ableton. I'm sure you could do the same in Logic, etc., etc. But these plugin Alliance, the way that they're modeling the plugins, there is something going on. In that modeling where it is a little bit different. I did the same with the Amic, and I can show you tests of that if you want to see that. But in a mastering EQ where accuracy is paramount, and you really don't want to have, sometimes you want to have a little bit of flavor being imparted on the signal, but really what you're looking for is like truth and typically broad but small movements. So you don't want to have deviation really between the left and the right signal, unless that's kind of what you're going for. But very interesting. I do think, even though it's, essentially it sounds so similar to just like a stock linear plugin, if you null it out, I'm sure you could do that with multiple frequencies, but I'm not going to spend the time to put something together like that. But I do find it pleasing off the bat. Like, even if I, let's say I get rid of this change and turn on the plugin on and off, there's something slight, but it does sound pleasing. And I checked to see if it was volume, but it got really close. So if it is a volume push, it's something very minimal, and I didn't see that in Plugin Doctor. So yeah, check out Plugin Alliance. They're doing cool stuff. This plugin I don't believe is available. I think it's only available for subscribers right now. But if you wanted to pick it up later, I think it's available in a week or two. I don't know the price, as it just got released today. And again, it's not for sale. But if you're a Plugin subscriber or Plugin Alliance subscriber, go grab it. If you have any questions or anything, drop them in the comments. And subscribe, smash like, all of the YouTube stuff. And we'll see you again. Thanks so much. Bye-bye.